Have you seen the trailer for the new Godzilla?
I have indeed. Godzilla's looking mighty thick in that new trailer, isn't it? Dad-BodZilla is best Godzilla. With the new Godzilla movie right around the corner, I wanted to take some time to discuss some lesser known facts about everyone's favourite atomic monster. For example, did you know that technically Godzilla has a black belt in the ancient art of judo?
Karl, don't be stupid. Godzilla doesn't have a black belt in judo.
Brad, yes he fucking does. But first we need to explain a few things so we're all on the same page about Godzilla. So Godzilla has been knocking over buildings and drop-kicking giant monsters for about 5 decades now, and during that time he's been portrayed on screen by a number of actors, the most famous of which is arguably Haruo Nakajima, and I deeply, deeply apologise for the terrible pronunciation of that name, who portrayed Godzilla in about a dozen movies.
So I'm going to guess he was one of the guys who was inside the suit.
Yes he was. And people who've only seen CGI Godzilla movies in Japan for many years, and they still do it to this day, to portray Godzilla, they don't use CGI or any of that bullshit. They get a guy inside a rubber suit and make him smash some cardboard buildings up, Power Rangers style.
I think Power Rangers is probably a good way to compare it for people who haven't seen those Godzilla
Yeah, because it was based on a Japanese TV show. They just dubbed over and inserted new footage of some dumbasses wearing like immaculately colour coordinated outfits.
Power Rangers!
Who would win, Godzilla or the Megazord?
Oh, damn, that's a fucking tough choice. That's a death battle right there, isn't it? Damn it. Oh man, I don't know who'd win to be fair, 'cause the Megazord's pretty good. I think that the Megazord from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie might win, because that has a button in it specifically for kicking your opponent in the balls, and that's a strong fucking move. The Megazord's ultimate move, a thing we know, like from the TV show, can like fire like the ultimate atomic mega blaster or some shit like that. Its ultimate move is BAM! Right into the nutsack. And you know what? I don't think Godzilla has a counter for that. So he's got his atomic fire breath. He's got his like super sick awesome tail whip. He can do that like flying dropkick thing where he like flies across with his team with Jet Jaguar. But I don't think he can stop a knee to the balls from like a giant metallic man made of wolves. Moving away from Power Rangers for a moment, which I only do when we're discussing something which is much more hype, like Godzilla, Nakajima's performance as everyone's favourite giant atomic lizard has been consistently lauded by critics as excellent.
Why did people like his performance so much?
It's mostly the characterisation he gave to Godzilla, and it speaks to his skill as an actor that even when he's buried under like 50 pounds of foam latex, he can add nuance to the movements of this giant lumbering monster. I believe critics as well have also praised his work ethic when portraying Godzilla on screen, and he's known to have put a lot of himself into the character, which isn't a metaphor, I should point out.
How is that not a metaphor?
Because Nakajima is known to have sweated a quantifiable percentage of his body weight into the suit every time he put it on and did a scene. So yeah, when you're watching these old clips of Nakajima stumbling around as Godzilla, just remember that the boots of the suit were usually like 3 inches deep in his own sweat. Yeah. You can probably understand now why he played him for so many years. I don't think anyone would want to put that suit on after the fact, do you? It's not the fact that he was so good. Like, obviously he was very good, but I think initially he was like no other actor wanted to climb into it, and he probably did that on purpose. It's like, you know we can clean that suit. It's like, no, I need it. I need to get into the mindset of Godzilla, and secretly he's doing it. It's like, no other fucker is going to put this outfit on if I literally sweat my balls out in it.
You know when you get back from the beach and you turn your shoes upside down and pour the sand out?
Yeah, it was no exaggeration. I believe there were instances where he said, yeah, there would literally be inches of sweat in the bottom of the costume. I think they tried to install a fan or something in there eventually, and they made a lighter version which said, yeah, every time I put it on, I was basically saying, okay, I'm now going to sweat out like 3 pounds.
So there's so much respect for that, because I once wore a mascot outfit for 2 hours and I nearly passed out. This guy's wearing something bigger and thicker and heavier.
Oh yeah, like 50 pounds of foam latex.
For 12, for like a dozen movies.
Yeah, the best bit is though, there are behind the scenes shots. I'm not sure if we've got permission to like show them here, but if you can find them, it'd be great. Of him like on his lunch break, he's doing like big Godzilla boots, like stomping around, like drinking like tea and stuff. It's great. The trade-off for Nakajima was that he was given a large amount of say over how Godzilla was characterized on screen, due to the fact he was one of the few people who intimately understood the limitations of the suit and how it could move. And as a result, he was basically given free rein to choreograph his own fight scenes.
I'm going to guess this is where the judo part comes in.
Yes, because obviously Nakajima had to develop a fighting style for Godzilla that was heavily influenced by his own background in judo. And he's noted in certain interviews that like basically the fight style Godzilla used in those early films was just judo with minor variations, which is why you see Godzilla doing like sick awesome hip tosses and stuff like that. Only just like, you know, adapted for his giant lizardy bulk.
Okay, so I get that version of Godzilla probably fought like he knew judo.
Yes, he did. So we don't do clickbait on this channel, folks.
But as soon as he was out of the suit, all the others aren't going to be doing that.
Oh, you mean the other actors who portray Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point, but here's the thing. That version of Godzilla is considered so iconic that it's used as a template for every other version of the character. So every time they get someone else in the suit or redesign the character, they use the original Godzilla, played by Nakajima, and the way it moved and the way it fought as the basis and the template. So technically, Godzilla still has that black belt he earned all those years ago. Because even like in the modern film today, like the 2014 one, the one that's coming out next year, he still fights in kind of the same way. Because even things like the way he moves is considered so iconic.
So every Godzilla has been basically moves like a judo black belt.
Yes, or fights like one at least anyway, yeah.
Guessing the 98 one doesn't count here.
Oh yeah, the 98 one's count, but that's not canon anyway.
Right, so let me try and follow your train of logic here.
Go for it.
So because the guy who was in the first suit was a black belt in judo, and the movements of Godzilla were influenced by this.
Yes.
And then every Godzilla since has been influenced by this one.
Yes.
You're saying that regardless of him not having the belt...
He doesn't have the belt technically because I don't think there's one that fits.
Right.
But technically, Godzilla fights like an expert judo practitioner.
He fights like a judo black belt.
Yes, he does. My favourite part about it is, though, because obviously Nakajima incorporated like Godzilla's additional bulk and his tail into like his own unique variation on judo. Godzilla not only fights using judo, he fights using a special version unique to him. And I want this to be like martial arts classes now, where they strap a big rubber tail onto your ass. Like judo for furries, or something like that. Where they use the lessons of Godzilla and you're taught by a guy wearing the suit. So this is how you hip toss someone when your tail has been trod on.
It's like you start with the lowest belt, which is just a belt with a tail on it. And then as you upgrade, you get more
the
bits.
tail
of
gets longer. And then the spikes that you get on your back get bigger.
And then you get the full suit. And eventually the class is just full of the black belts, which are just Godzillas.
Wearing the full suit. Oh man, that's great.
Imagine walking into a gym and you open a door by accident. There's just a room full of Godzillas with one Godzilla at the front and they're all on one leg.
Doing the crane stance. I know someone in the audience can be like, oh, this is so stupid, clickbait or whatever. But no. Like, if you extrapolate like I did, like if the guy in the suit has a black belt and he says, I based all of my knowledge as a black belt on the way and use that to inform how Godzilla fights. Godzilla fights like a judo black belt. It's just that he fights like a judo black belt, is also 400 foot tall and can breathe atomic fire. Why is that so hard to follow?
So what do you think of the new Godzilla trailer then?
It looks like a trailer for a film. I'm not too fussed about it. What I am fussed about though is big old fat jiggly ass Godzilla. Yeah.
Well, chunky Godzilla.
Chunky Godzilla's Batman, Thicc-Zilla. Let's go. I love it. I love how they doubled down. In the first movie, I remember when they released that, the very first image of Godzilla, and all the internet was making fun of Godzilla for being too fat. In this next one, he doesn't even give a fuck. Like in the trailer, when he fires the atomic fire into the air, you can just see the gut, and he doesn't give a fuck. And I love that. 'Cause it's like someone's dad, innit? Do you know they always say like your dad can always beat you in a fight, and you look at him and think he stood there, his little pot belly. I could take him. And then you just see your dad like effortlessly like pick up like a giant ass weight off the floor or something. Or move the fridge without trying to think, oh, he'd fucking have me. And I think it's the same thing with Godzilla, because he's like the OG, the literal OG of like these kaiju that are roaming the world. He's the big daddy of them all. So it makes sense that he'd have the little beer gut, and he's too old and tired for this shit, but he's still going to whoop your ass anyway, because you've interrupted his sit down time. And I like that backstory for Godzilla, like Dad-BodZilla, man, it's great.
Did I see you bring a book in earlier as well?
Yes, you have. I'm going to do some show and tell for the audience sake. I actually own the 2014 Godzilla art book, Art of Destruction, with a foreword by Gareth Edwards. You know, the guy who decided that, in this Godzilla movie, let's not see Godzilla. And I thought people might be interested in this. So I bought it thinking, I can't wait for some sick-ass artwork of Godzilla from, concept art of him. And there's not a lot of that, to be fair. You'd think in a book called The Art of Destruction with Godzilla on the front, there'd be a lot of, pictures of Godzilla. But no, the majority of the book is actually dedicated to the Mutos. The unique creatures they designed.
Yeah.
And, pages upon pages are just dedicated to the Mutos, look. Look, Muto evolution. I don't give a fuck, Gareth Edwards. Go away, I want to see more sick, awesome pictures of Godzilla. Oh, look, more Mutos, look. Oh, let's look at all these Mutos. Pages and pages. There's even pages dedicated to Aaron fucking Johnson's character. I don't care. So you know what? Now I've got that off my chest, let's look at some of the early artwork for Godzilla. So I don't think a lot of people know about this. They had a lot of designs, look. We can see some here, look. If people don't know the most... Oh, here we go, Crocodile Godzilla.
That looks a little bit too 1998
Yeah,
for
well,
me.
you can see they went through a lot.
Yeah.
And there's the more modern one, they give them the profile of an eagle. But they did actually do a more traditional one, look. And then, do you know what they said? They said, yeah, we like it. But if you go, you can see the origins of Thicc-Zilla in this, which is why I brought it up. Look how thick this early concept art for Godzilla. Look at them legs. Look at them gams. Look at that. Godzilla's looking mighty thick in that video. It's great. I love it. And the thing is, though, right, if you look at, they've got a huge big pull-out here. Every single piece of artwork they did, Godzilla just has giant thighs. Every single one. Look at this one. Look at that bastard. Look at them legs right there. Look at that Godzilla. That's my Godzilla. That's my Godzilla. It's so funny. I thought people might appreciate that. And then, you get that awesome sick pull-out in the middle. Oh, look, it's Aaron Johnson or Aaron Taylor. Oh, cool. Here's some behind-the-scenes CGI footage. Oh, look, here's Gareth Edwards just yelling. Just yelling at people. Cool. Do I get any... Oh, look, here's concept art of Aaron Johnson's character. Yeah, I bought a book with Godzilla on the front for that. Oh, and they've got pictures of Bryan Cranston in it. He's in this book more than he's in the film. That pissed me off. But I thought people might appreciate seeing some, I know there was a lot of complaints, but... I don't think this book was very popular. Not a lot of people bought it. But the fact that, Thicc-Zilla was always the end goal. Every single piece of, concept art in this book, the admittedly limited piece of concept art in here, all portray Godzilla as having big, giant thighs. And I think that's great.
I'm assuming the reason for that kind of thing is because they're trying to make it look scientifically realistic.
Yeah, that's
and he
part of the
needs
reason.
Giant muscles.
Part of it is a throwback to the original, where obviously this suit looked like that. And some of it is they did get... animal locomotion experts and said, okay, so how would a creature this size look? And they said, well, he's gonna have to just maintain that much mass. He has to have a really massive ass. I love the idea that they sat down with a scientist who went, Godzilla has got to have booty. Godzilla has got to shake that fucking ass. That ass has got to be magnificent on that Godzilla.
The twerk heard around the world.
Oh my god. Who's in the film, the 2014 film, he does the tail whip, doesn't he? The legendary tail whip of Kurosawa, where he's like, it's that fucking Muto and slams it into the building. The thing that annoys me, though, is, the Mutos, they're cool, but they don't look like they should fight Godzilla. Because Godzilla is 14 times their size. So you look at Godzilla, you look at giant ass Dad-BodZilla, and you're thinking, that thing would fucking destroy it. And you get attacked by this thing with tiny little spindly legs walking everywhere. And you think, that's scary. But he's not going to beat Godzilla, because look at the fucking size of him. It's he's the size of a building. It's oh yeah, but the Mutos can take it. That's why I'm glad in the next one they brought in actual Mutos to fight. Yeah. Not actual Mutos, they brought in actual kaiju. They've brought in King Ghidorah, they've brought in Rodan, they've brought in Mothra. It's going to be so good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then King Kong's going to come in the next movie. Have you seen the thing someone's made, the meme of it? We should mention this. It's like the thing from Batman vs Superman, where it's Godzilla screaming, "Save Mothra," and it's King Kong going, "How do you know that name?" It's like, "Save Mothra, she's too pure for this world."